It's a quiet, sunlit morning in Willow Springs. Birds flutter between trimmed hedges, sprinklers dance across perfect lawns, and everything looks calm until the low rumble of a tow truck breaks the silence. The truck slows to a stop outside a two-story suburban home. A black SUV sits parked at the curb, spotless but slightly out of place among the pastel-colored sedans. Martin Cole, mid-50s, crisp polo tucked into khakis, stands with a clipboard in one hand and a self-satisfied smirk on his face. The tow driver steps out, squinting at the vehicle. "This the one?" Martin nods. "Yep, parked overnight. Third time this month someone thinks the rules don't apply." The driver walks around the SUV, frowning. "Looks official." "You sure about this?" Martin scoffs. "Official, please. Everyone says that when they get caught." "Hook it up." Chains clink against metal as the tow truck lowers its ramp. Neighbors peek through blinds. A curtain moves. Someone's phone starts recording. The driver bends down to secure the tire hooks, but pauses. Hey, look at this plate," says Guillaume, like government issue. Martin waves him off. "I said hook it. The HOA rules are clear, no parking overnight. I don't care if it belongs to the mayor." The driver hesitates, then tightens the chain. The sound echoes unnaturally loud in the quiet street. The front door of the house opens. A man steps out, late 40s, calm, steady, still holding a coffee mug. He watches the scene unfold without a word. Martin spots him and immediately raises his voice. "Sir, you can't park your car here. We've warned everyone about street violations. You'll need to speak to the HOA office after we remove it." The man doesn't move closer, just looks at the tow truck, then at Martin. His tone is calm, almost too calm. "You sure you want to do that?" Martin laughs. "Oh, I'm sure. I've been running this community for 10 years and we don't make exceptions." The man tilts his head slightly, eyes steady. "I see." He takes a slow sip of coffee. Behind him, the wind shifts. A faint glint of sunlight catches a metallic badge hanging from the edge of his jacket. Martin doesn't notice, but the tow driver does. His face goes pale. He straightens up fast, staring at the emblem, then at the man. The driver whispers under his breath, "Wait, that's..." The man sets his coffee down on the hood of the SUV. "Go ahead," he says quietly. "Do what you came to do." For the first time, Martin falters. Something about the man's tone, calm, certain, unbothered, cuts through his usual arrogance, but pride wins. He waves a hand impatiently. "Finish the job." Rules are rules, the man watches silently. A few houses away, a kid filming on his phone zooms in. The camera catches the reflection on the SUV windshield. Faint letters stenciled across the dashboard. "Sheriff's Department." The driver freezes mid-step. Martin turns, confused. "What's the holdup?" The man finally speaks again, voice steady, cold. "You really should have checked before touching that vehicle." The air tightens. Neighbors hold their breath. Martin blinks, trying to process what he's just heard. The man slips a hand into his jacket pocket, slowly, deliberately, and pulls out a small leather wallet. He flips it open just enough for the driver to see. The driver immediately steps back. Martin's expression cracks. The man closes the wallet, picks up his coffee again, and says, "Next time, make sure your rules don't break the law." He turns and walks back toward the house. The driver unhooks the chains without a word. Martin just stands there, frozen, red-faced, humiliated, while phones record from every porch on the street. The tow truck's engine rumbles back to life. It drives off, leaving Martin alone with the sound of sprinklers and whispers behind half-closed curtains. And for the first time, the self-proclaimed king of Willow Springs looks like he's realizing he just picked the wrong fight. Morning sunlight filters through glass windows as Martin Cole strides into the HOA office, his private little kingdom. Everything about the room screams control. The spotless white walls, the framed Community Excellence Certificate, even the golden plaque on his desk. Martin Cole, President, Willow Springs HOA. He tosses his keys down, grabs a fresh cup of coffee, and leans back in his chair like a man who owns every lawn in town. Across from him, Linda, the HOA's assistant treasurer, shuffles through a stack of complaint forms. "Another warning for trash cans left out overnight," she mutters. Martin waves his hand. "Triple the fine." "People only learn when it hurts." Linda hesitates. "That's a little steep, don't you think?" Martin chuckles. Steep. Linda, order keeps chaos away. You let one guy break a rule, the whole neighborhood turns into a circus. He sips his coffee, eyes cold and sharp. We built perfection here, and I'll make damn sure it stays that way. Outside the window, a gardener trims the same hedge for the third time that week. A mother pulls her son off the freshly painted curb. Everyone moves in quiet obedience. Everyone except the man with the black SUV. Linda clears her throat again. You know that SUV from yesterday? Martin raises a brow. The one I had to teach a lesson? She nods. Yeah, I checked the plate like you asked. There's no record in the HOA system. It's registered to a government department. Martin sets his coffee down slowly. Government? What kind of department? Linda hesitates. It doesn't say, just classified. For a moment, Martin's smirk flickers, just for a second. Then he laughs it off. Probably some retired pencil pusher trying to look important. Don't worry about it. We enforce the rules the same for everyone. He stands up, buttons his blazer, and straightens his tie. Besides, it's not like we're doing anything wrong. We're the good guys here. Cut to the neighborhood. Rows of manicured lawns, identical homes, and that same black SUV sitting quietly at the curb again. The tow truck's gone, but a faint scrape on the asphalt remains. A scar of what happened earlier. Inside his house, the SUV's owner, Deputy Sheriff Daniel Hayes, sits at his kitchen table, files spread out before him. He's reading something, HOA regulations, complaint lists, violation reports. His jaw tightens as he flips through page after page of Martin's overreaches. Fines for flower pots. Warnings for kids' bikes left out. Penalties for disabled ramps. He pauses at one name, Turner. He remembers that name, the veteran from the ramp story months ago. He closes the file, eyes hardening. Across town, Martin's at a luncheon with the city's elite. He's shaking hands, laughing too loud, dropping phrases like property values and community integrity. He doesn't notice the phone recording him from the corner table, the same kid from the neighborhood. Now curious about the man everyone fears. Later that day, Martin drives home. He slows as he passes the black SUV again. It's still there, still parked in the same spot. He mutters to himself, "Let's see how long you last here." Inside, Deputy Hayes watches from behind the blinds, his expression unreadable. He sets down his coffee mug, revealing the emblem on it. Sheriff's Department, County Division. He picks up his phone and makes a call. Yeah, it's me. We might have a situation brewing at Willow Springs. I'll handle it. The camera lingers on his face. Calm, but there's a storm building behind his eyes. Back at the HOA office, Martin's phone buzzes with an unknown number. He frowns, answers. A deep, measured voice on the other end. Mr. Cole. This is Deputy Hayes. We need to talk. Silence. Martin's smirk fades for the second time that day. Martin stands by his office window, phone still in his hand, eyes fixed on the caller ID that's already gone dark. He doesn't like the tone he heard. Calm, confident, official. The kind of tone that doesn't ask for permission. He exhales sharply, muttering, "Deputy or not, rules are rules." But something about it lingers. Outside, the afternoon sun casts long shadows across Willow Springs. Kids are riding their bikes, sprinklers hiss, and the world looks perfectly ordinary, except for that one black SUV, parked right where Martin doesn't want it. Martin steps out of his office, clipboard in hand. Linda looks up nervously. "Are you going over there?" He smirks. "If the sheriff wants a chat, I'll give him one." He crosses the street toward Hayes's house, every step slow and deliberate, rehearsing his authority. The HOA badge clipped to his shirt gleams in the light. He knocks once firmly. The door opens and there he is, Deputy Hayes. Calm, broad-shouldered, with eyes that say he's seen too much and doesn't scare easy. Martin starts, "Mr. Hayes, I'm the HOA president here and—" Hayes cuts him off politely. "I know who you are. Come in." Inside, the house feels different from the rest, simple, lived in, but precise. Every book, every badge, every photo on the wall tells a story of service. There's a framed certificate from the Sheriff's Department, a commendation for bravery, and a small folded flag under glass. Hayes gestures toward a chair. "Sit." Martin stays standing. "Look, Deputy, your vehicle's been in violation of the HOA's parking guidelines for 2 days now. We can't make exceptions. Everyone has to comply if we want the neighborhood to stay. Hayes interrupts again, this time with a faint smile. Neat? Martin nods stiffly. Exactly. Hayes tilts his head. You know what else should stay neat, Mr. Cole? The law, the silence stretches. Martin frowns. Excuse me? Hayes walks over to his counter, opens a drawer and drops a folder onto the table. It's thick, full of papers, photos, and printed emails. These are your violation notices, your fine records, your letters to residents. You've been stepping beyond your authority for a long time. Martin stiffens. What are you implying? Hayes doesn't blink. That you've been running this place like your personal kingdom. That ends now, Martin scoffs, masking the unease creeping in. You think flashing a badge changes anything? HOA's a private entity. We make our own rules. Hayes leans closer. His voice drops. Private or not, you're not above federal law, especially when your rules border on harassment. Martin looks away, jaw tightening. You don't scare me, Deputy. Hayes smiles, but there's no warmth in it. Good. You'll need that courage when the real officers show up. Martin narrows his eyes. What's that supposed to mean? Hayes steps closer, his shadow stretching across the polished floor. It means I've already filed a report, and you'll be hearing from more than just me. Martin's heartbeat quickens, though he hides it behind a forced grin. You've made a mistake, Hayes. You can't threaten me in my own neighborhood. Hayes chuckles softly, turning away. You're right. I don't need to threaten you. He walks to the door, opens it, and gestures outside. But I do suggest you start cleaning up your mess. Because once this hits the department, it won't just be your job on the line. It'll be your reputation. Martin stands frozen for a moment, then storms out without another word. As he walks back home, the neighborhood feels different, quieter, heavier. Curtains shift. Someone closes a door. He feels watched. When he gets inside, his phone buzzes again, an email notification. It's from an unknown sender. Subject, you crossed the wrong line. Attachment, a photo of him standing next to the tow truck, grinning as Hayes' SUV was being lifted. Martin's breath catches. He looks out his window. The black SUV is still there, parked like a warning. And for the first time, he locks his door. Night settles over Willow Springs, but Martin Cole can't sleep. His spotless living room feels smaller, colder, like the shadows are whispering. He sits at his desk, a glass of whiskey untouched beside a glowing laptop screen. The subject line still blinks. You crossed the wrong line. He opens the attachment again. That same photo. The tow truck, the smirk, the SUV being lifted. Except now there's a red circle drawn around a small emblem on the vehicle's plate. A golden star. He zooms in. His throat tightens. Sheriff's property, he mutters. He grabs his phone and dials the tow company. No answer. He tries again. Still nothing. Finally, a voice picks up, groggy, irritated. Cole, you realize what time it is? Martin ignores the tone. You towed a black SUV earlier this week. I need to know where it is. The man on the other end hesitates. That job's already closed, man. Vehicle was claimed. Claimed? By who? A pause. Then quietly, Federal Recovery Team. Martin's stomach twists. What the hell are you talking about? But the line goes dead. He leans back, rubbing his temples, trying to think. Then he hears it in a faint click outside. He rushes to the window. A black car is parked across the street, headlights off, engine silent. Not the SUV, something else. Watching cut to morning. Martin arrives at the HOA office early, pale, agitated. Linda notices. Rough night? He forces a smile. Just busy. He sits but can't focus. His computer pings a new message. From Internal Affairs. Subject, you are advised to appear for questioning regarding misuse of private authority. His heart pounds. He scrolls down. There's an attached report. Photos, recordings, timestamps. Every incident he thought was buried. Residents complaining. Threats of lawsuits. One line stands out. Bold, highlighted. Lead complainant, Deputy Sheriff Daniel Hayes. Martin slams the laptop shut. No, this isn't real, Linda frowns. Everything okay? He looks up sharply. Leave the office, Linda. But I said now. She leaves quickly, glancing back one last time. Martin sits there, trembling hands gripping the armrests. His walls, once symbols of control, now feel like a cage. Then a knock at the door. He freezes. "Mr. Cole," a calm voice says from the other side. "It's Deputy Hayes, we need to talk again." Martin doesn't answer. His mind races. He remembers the fines, the letters, the arrogance. How many people he humiliated. The knock comes again, firmer. "Sir, I just want to clarify a few things." Finally, Martin opens the door and halfway. Hayes stands there, same calm presence, but this time his badge glints under the sun. Martin's voice cracks. "You reported me?" Hayes nods slowly. "I warned you." Martin forces a laugh, desperate. "You think this'll stick?" "You can't prove anything." Hayes steps closer. "You towed a marked department vehicle. You threatened residents. You falsified HOA bylaws to extort fines." He takes out his phone, scrolls, and shows a photo. The one from the email. "And you were recorded doing it." Martin's breath comes shallow. Hayes lowers his voice. "You had chances, Cole, but you kept doubling down. Now it's not just the HOA you're dealing with. It's the law." Behind him, 2 black cars pull up quietly. Men in plainclothes step out, county investigators. Martin's defiance collapses. His shoulders slump. Is this really happening?" Hayes studies him for a long moment. Then quietly, "You wanted power, Martin. Now you'll see what real power looks like." Hayes turns to walk away, but stops at the door. "One more thing. The people you hurt, they're the ones who called me." As he walks out, Martin watches through the glass and the neighborhood he once ruled over now staring back at him. Curtains part. Phones record. He finally whispers to himself, "I just wanted order." But all that's left is silence. The next morning breaks heavy with rain. The kind that makes the streets look like mirrors, reflecting everything Martin Cole had built, and everything he's about to lose. He wakes to the sound of his phone buzzing nonstop. Dozens of messages, missed calls, notifications. He fumbles to unlock it and freezes. Headline: HOA President under investigation for misuse of authority. Sheriff's Department confirms. Below it, his face. A still frame from the security footage at the tow yard, taken the night the SUV was hauled away. He's standing there, clipboard in hand, shouting at the tow operator. And beside him, clear as day, the vehicle's plate reads, "Official use only." His pulse spikes. He scrolls. Video clips, residents' comments, news anchors talking about him like a villain from a movie. Sources claim Cole issued over 70 violations in the past 6 months, often targeting veterans and single parents. Accused of discrimination. An anonymous deputy sheriff's complaint sparked the investigation. Martin throws the phone across the room. It shatters against the wall. But the sound doesn't stop. Outside, reporters have gathered, cameras flashing under umbrellas. He yanks the curtain shut. Then a knock, soft at first. Then louder. It's Linda, drenched, holding a file folder. "Martin, they took the office computers. The board resigned. It's over." He stares at her, eyes hollow, voice flat. "Who gave them the footage?" She hesitates, then whispers, "One of the residents. Said they were tired of being bullied." He laughs, a short, bitter, broken. "So that's it, huh? After 10 years, they turn on me?" Linda looks down. "You turned on them first." He sinks into the couch, staring at the floor. The rain outside gets louder, drowning the silence. Then, a low hum in the distance. Engines. He looks out the window and sees it, a long, black SUV turning into the neighborhood. The same one he had towed. Parks right in front of his house. Deputy Hayes steps out, calm as ever, wearing his badge openly this time. Cameras immediately turn toward him. Reporters swarm. Flashbulbs go off. Martin's door opens before he can stop himself. The world outside feels like a spotlight, cold, merciless. Hayes walks up slowly, his boots splashing through puddles. "Morning, Mr. Cole," he says evenly. "Seems we've got a few things to settle." Martin doesn't respond. He just stands there, drenched, shaking, watching everything crumble in real time. Behind Hayes, county officials carry boxes into the HOA office across the street. The seal on one reads, "Property Seizure Notice." Neighbors gather in clusters, whispering, filming. The same faces that used to lower their eyes when he passed now stare boldly. Hayes pulls out a document and hands it to him. "This is the final notice of investigation. You're suspended from all community authority. effective immediately. Martin doesn't take it. He just whispers, "You planned this." Hayes' voice softens. "No, you did." He pauses, glancing around at the residents now watching from porches and driveways. "You built this place on control. But you forgot. People always fight back when they've had enough. The cameras catch every word." A reporter calls out, "Mr. Cole." Any comment? He finally snaps, shouting over the rain. "You think I'm the villain? I kept this neighborhood clean. I gave it standards." Hayes just looks at him, not angry, not smug, just tired. And in the process, you forgot what community meant. The moment hangs, heavy, final. Then Hayes turns back to the crowd. "To everyone here, this investigation isn't about revenge. It's about accountability." He steps aside, letting the news cameras capture the emblem on his SUV, the sheriff's department badge shining clear through the rain. The crowd murmurs. Cole looks down at his reflection in a puddle, distorted, broken. Somewhere inside, he knows this isn't over. But for now, he's the one being watched. That night, the rain finally stops, but the silence it leaves behind is worse. The whole neighborhood feels different now. Where porch lights once glowed warm and steady, most houses sit dark, blinds drawn, curtains tight. No one wants to be seen, not after what happened. Inside his half-packed house, Martin Cole paces like a ghost. Boxes everywhere, papers scattered. The HOA plaques that once hung proudly on his walls now lie face down on the floor. His phone buzzes again, another unknown number. He doesn't answer. Then a voicemail plays automatically. "Mr. Cole, this is Officer Reeves. You're required to appear in court Monday morning. Failure to comply will result in a warrant." He exhales, long and shaky. It's all falling apart. The HOA funds are frozen. His car has been impounded. His so-called friends have vanished. And online, he's become a meme. Clips of him shouting at residents, stitched with sarcastic captions. HOA gone rogue. Neighborhood dictator gets served. He slams his laptop shut. But the sound echoes too long, too loud, like even the walls are mocking him. For a moment, he just sits there, alone, hands trembling. Then, headlights flash across the window, another car pulling up. He tenses, expecting reporters again. But when the door opens, it's Deputy Hayes. Alone, no cameras, no backup. Martin freezes. "You here to arrest me?" Hayes shakes his head. "Not tonight." He walks in slowly, glancing at the mess. "You know, most people don't hate you, Martin. They just wanted to be treated like neighbors, not subordinates," Martin scoffs. "Easy for you to say. You don't have to manage chaos." Hayes sits across from him, calm. "You didn't manage it. You controlled it. There's a difference." A long pause. The clock ticks. Outside, a dog barks somewhere down the street. Martin finally asks, voice quieter now. "So, what happens next?" Hayes looks at him steadily. "You'll face the audit, the charges, maybe fines, maybe worse. But maybe, if you own up, you can start over." Martin laughs bitterly. "Start over? With what reputation?" Hayes shrugs. "With truth. It's a better foundation than fear." For the first time, Martin's confidence slips entirely. His shoulders sink. He looks toward the window, where the rain has stopped and dawn's first light begins to creep in. He whispers, "I just wanted respect." Hayes replies, "You can't demand that. You earn it." Then he stands, adjusts his jacket, and heads for the door. At the threshold, he pauses. "Tomorrow, we'll send someone for the files. You might want to be gone by then." Martin doesn't answer. He just nods faintly, staring at the reflection of blue and red lights flickering faintly in the distance. The kind that means something's finally come full circle. As the deputy leaves, the camera lingers on Martin one last time, sitting alone amid the ruins of his own rules. A single line echoes in his head, Hayes' words, low and final. "You built a kingdom on control, Martin. But kingdoms fall when the king forgets his people." He looks out at the neighborhood one last time. The sun rises slowly over the rooftops. Kids ride their bikes again. People laugh on their lawns, and for the first time in years, The neighborhood feels free.